As you can see, a lot of times video gear takes up a lot of space and it involves a lot of stuff. I was bringing in bag after bag after bag. And that's just the truth of things. You've got lighting, you've got tripods, you've got light stands, you've got lenses, you've got camera bodies, you've got audio interfaces. There are just so many things that go into recording professional grade audio and video for clients. And when you're doing something for a client, when you're doing something and really trying to push and get really, really great quality, you just do what you have to do. You carry what you have to carry. But I wanted to put this setup together to show kind of the other side of things. And this really applies in two different situations. And one of those is that I want to shoot video when I'm doing stuff with family, or maybe when I'm traveling, an opportunity comes up to record a video, and I don't have all of my stuff with me because I'm the dad of 3. Between my wife and I, our bags and the kids' gaming stuff and their cars and strollers and diaper bags and bottles, there's no room. My wife would look at me and laugh if I told her I was gonna bring all my lighting gear and a tripod and a big camera setup with me when we went on vacation. It just isn't gonna happen, right? So how do I, kind of a perfectionist, want the best quality audio, the best quality video, how do I get that kind of result when I'm traveling with something that I can just throw in my backpack, that I'm not having to take extra bags and make extra provisions for? The other thing is, maybe you also are in my similar situation. I'm a technical director, and so I supply people with video gear and work with other photographers that work with our organization. And that's something that that quite frankly, I'm sometimes handing cameras and equipment to people that don't really know a whole lot about video, that don't know a whole lot about photography, and I need them to have the best possible chance of success. Well, they're also not going to carry around a big bulky setup. And that's where this comes in. And I was really inspired by Caleb Pike. He did a review of this microphone. This is the Movo VXR10, and it is a very, very similar kind of a knockoff of the Rode Video Micro. And I'm not here to knock Rode. I love Rode. I'm recording with a Rode NTG3 broadcast microphone right now. I love it as a shotgun microphone, but it requires phantom power, it requires a big mic stand, and it requires a level of commitment to work with that this little guy doesn't. And so this little guy affords us a lot of different things. And I'm not gonna go into a really great detail of reviewing this microphone. Caleb did a phenomenal job on his video. I'm gonna link that below. So if you wanna find out more information about this little guy, you can watch his video. But it comes with some really, really helpful stuff. So in the bag, in the box with the microphone, comes this little clip, and it snaps in just like that. And you get a really nice microphone that has a cold shoe thread on the bottom, so it can go right on the top of any digital SLR, or really, there are a lot of other kinds of cameras that come with hot shoes on the top. This will snap right on there. It also has a 1/4-20 in the bottom, which we're gonna use here in another second. The other things that it comes with is it comes with this dead cat little poof, really useful if you're shooting outdoors with any kind of a wind. The other things that it comes with is it comes with 2 attachment cables. And this is really where, beyond the fact that this is 20 bucks cheaper than the Rode Video Micro, this little guy comes with 2 adapters. It comes with this one right here that has a little curly Q in the middle, and this is TRS to TRS 1/8" adapter, and this gets you out of the back of the microphone and into the side of your camera if your camera has a microphone jack. And so this is, pretty standard. You get a microphone like this, it's gonna come with this cable. This other cable, though, is really, really handy. It's straight, it doesn't have any curly Qs in it, so it's really easy to, when you're reaching into the pouch, to determine which one's which. And it has a TRS on one end, which is what goes into the microphone. Then it has what's called a TRRS connector, which means it has 2 rings on it that goes on the other end. And that TRRS connector goes right into something like this. This is the adapter for an Apple iPhone, because none of our phones have stinking headphone adapters on them anymore. And then that goes right into the bottom of this. And the rest of this video is going to be focused on utilizing this device that you already own. You already own and already carry with you a really fantastic camera. Your iPhone, or you've got a Galaxy S8, or you've got some other phone within the last 3 years or so. They all have really phenomenal cameras, and a lot of them even shoot 4K. So that's pretty cool. So let's talk about how we get this and this put together so that you can use it in an easy way. And kind of the first step with that is this little bracket right here. And this is made by Velo. Bought it on Amazon. I'll link it below in the description. And it has a cold shoe mount on one end and a 1/4-20 adapter on the other. And so we're going to go ahead and take our microphone and we're going to attach it right onto this bracket just like this. And you can attach this facing either direction, so I can face it this way, or I could flip it around if I was gonna do some selfie stuff. I have that ability as well. So this is going in there that way. The other side of this is a very common little flexi spring-loaded bracket that is designed to put a regular tripod and a camera, or sorry, a camera phone together. Right, this little thing just expands and it grips onto it, but then on the bottom it gives you a 1/4-20. This one's made by Joby. It's a little expensive, but when I bought this, it was for my 6 Plus, and at that time, the 6 Plus was one of the first really big phones to kind of hit mainstream market, and so there weren't a lot of these little flexi brackets that had enough flex to accommodate a bigger phone. So you can get cheaper versions of this. I've even seen some come on selfie sticks and stuff like that. So this is a really, really great deal. You don't have to buy a really expensive one like the Joby one. It's just the one that I happen to have. I already owned it, and so I wasn't gonna buy a new one for this video. So it screws right on there. You can kind of square it up and tighten it down. You wanna make sure that it's not like turned sideways or anything like that. And now I can take my phone and I can put it in here and snap it right in this bracket, just like that. So now I already have these two things sitting right next to each other. I'm gonna go ahead with the phone adapter and I'm going to connect it to my phone. And then I'm gonna attach the other end to the microphone. Now you may want to take a little bit of this excess and wrap it up around like that, just so it's not bumping up against the microphone. But now, I now have a successful connection between my phone and this microphone. Now what we do at the bottom of this, how do we hang on to it? You can do a couple of different things. I have this. This came with a really cheap Steadicam that I bought for my GoPro a long time ago, and it's got a 1/4-20 in the top. I like it because it not only has a nice handle on it, but it also has this little ball bearing joint. And so I can kind of turn this way and hold the phone at a more natural angle. And it just puts a little less strain on my wrist. And I just feel it gives me a lot of control. Rubberized grip, very, very easy to hold. You could also do it with something like this Joby Gorillapod. You could also do it with something like this, which we'll use in the next section of our video. And this is just basically a handle that has a 1/4-20 on the top of it. Okay. If I was going to go record outside, I could very easily snap this poof on here. It kind of sheds everywhere, so I'm not going to do that for right this second, but it does just snap right on there on the top. And now I've got this. I can run around, I can do run and gun video. I'm gonna get rejection from the back, and it's gonna focus all the audio on what's directly in front of the camera. Makes for a really, really great deal. I can also take this and pop it around and flip it the other direction if I want to use the front-facing camera and shoot a little selfie vlog kind of a deal. Not really what I'm into necessarily, but it is there if you need to do that. Well, what if you don't want to run and gun? What if you're wanting to do more of a tabletop interview? You are sitting down with somebody, and one of the main truths of videography and really just audio in general is that the closer you can get your microphone to the source, the better the audio quality is going to be, regardless of the kind of microphone you have, how expensive the microphone is. You just get better audio the closer you get to the source. And so we want to take a second here to kind of do the other portion of that. That is, if I can get this detached. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and take this apart. And I'm going to leave this on the hot shoe because I actually like how this mounts to this hot shoe better than using the 1/4-20 on the bottom, but you can use that 1/4-20. And I'm going to take this now, and this little handle that I showed you before, it's more than just a handle. It does have a 1/4-20 on top of it, so we're going to screw that there. And now I'm going to take this off because I'm going to need a little extra. And so what this does is this extends out, and you can buy them that extend out further, but this gives me a really nice boom so that if I'm sitting across the table from somebody, I can set my phone up on a tripod that I'll show you in a second, and then I can put this on here and extend it out directly over my subject out of camera. And now I have a really nice close boomed microphone that you would normally have to have a really big, expensive, heavy setup for. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this inexpensive, it's just a TRS headphone extension. And you can take this, plug it right into the back of the camera, and then I kind of twist it around a few times like this. And then because it's an extension, it has a male jack on one end and a female jack on the other. So now we can plug this in just like we were plugging it into the microphone directly. And I can take this and now plug this into my camera. And now I can handhold the camera if I like, or we can put it in a bracket, which we're going to cover here in a second. But either way, I now have the ability to get my microphone a whole lot closer to my subject and get much better quality audio. So let's take a look at that. And that is being done by this little Joby Gorillapod. I'm going to link some stuff other than the Joby. I really like Joby's stuff. They make really, really good quality gear, but their gear is a little bit more expensive. So Manfrotto makes a really nice ball head adapter that you can utilize that has a little pop out. You could also utilize it as a handle, so it could kind of pull double duty there. I already had this. I already had this handle, so that's not something that I bought, but you could very easily do that. So I'm just going to set this right here. And now I have the ability to get this exactly the way I want it, right across the table. Or the thing that is nice about the Joby is if there is something that's a little bit non-standard that I want to set my phone on, I can set it on, I can collapse this down, I can wrap it around a pole, I can really make this tripod conform to whatever I want. So get this squared up exactly the way I want, hold this out, just out of frame, and record audio from an interview just like this. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to, just as a compare and contrast, I'm going to change the configuration of this back over to the run and gun, and then I'm going to switch to this camera in the video so that you can kind of see just a really brief, it's not a full review, but a really brief audio quality sample from this. So I've now got the poof on there. The microphone is facing towards me. You can kind of see my setup there, a couple of the bags sitting over to the side. I've got a bounce card sitting over here. I've got a backlight kind of coming up over there. And then I've got my key light sitting over there. These are not LEDs. They're very hot. There's my Rode microphone up there. And I can't really turn this around just yet. So I'm actually going to flip the microphone here real quick. So as you can see, there's a lot of gear in here, and it's very hot. And the audio quality, though, of this microphone is actually very, very good. It does require just a little bit of EQing, which I have done, because like I said, this isn't a review. I'm not trying to sell you on this microphone. If you want to look at some unaltered samples, you can watch Caleb's video. He did a really phenomenal job on it. But this is what you can expect. You know, this is what you can do is just some basic work in Final Cut or Premiere or whatever your editor of choice is with this simple rig. I've got an iPhone sitting on this bracket with this microphone. I have a full list of all the parts and whatnot that went into this setup, as well as some alternative parts for the things that I already had that I didn't have to buy. But until then, hope this was helpful. I enjoyed making it, and I'm going to turn these lights off because it's really hot in here.